Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a game between FXO's ASD versus eShara's Naama. I think it's just Naama for his name. I'll have to do one of these checks for you, but this is game 1 in a series, ASD spawning as the blue Protoss at what I'll call the 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Naama spawning as the yellow Terran over here at the 9 o'clock position. So Terran versus Protoss. ASD winning his previous matchup against TSL's, I believe it's TSL symbol. It feels like I just cast the game and I'm forgetting the names already. So we'll see what will come down in this series and how these players will play and how the strategies change between Terran versus Protoss and Zerg versus Protoss. So far, this is going to be full cross spawns here as a front door supply depot now being established. This is one of those strategies that has really become much more prominent as Protoss players have really been utilizing that early Zealot and Stalker effectively to do a lot of harassment. Once that Zealot and that Stalker is inside your base, it does force SCVs to come off the mineral line, losing precious mining time. Marines are not very durable at all during the early stages of the game, and Stalkers with superior range and superior movement speed can chase after Marines and take them down. We'll see what exactly FXO ASD's strategy is for the short-term game, and what exactly Sahara Naama's strategy is for the short-term game as well. So far, no refineries coming in from Sahara Naama, so he may be trying to go for an early command center. Early economic leads do definitely help a Terran player, but then again, I've also seen Terran players open up with an early reactor on the barracks and then try to do a bit of Marine and Marauder pressure while the Protoss player tries to establish an expansion of their own. Gateway is already up. Cybernetics core should be coming in momentarily. There it is. And now we should be seeing a Zealot added if he is trying to go for that early pressure. The front door is nearly sealed though, so I don't believe we will actually see any early pressure as the probe is now wandering around on the inside. Still no gas as a command center already being built down here. And at this stage in the game, I would believe that the Terran player's choice will be to place down 2 more barracks and a bunker right here to try to hold off against any early pressure. So far, there is that Zealot now being added. The Stalker should be coming behind it momentarily. There's that Stalker, the Zealot chasing after the SCV. SCV does have a little bit of a lead, and now trying to figure out where it can go, but the Zealot knows that it can get some easy shots. Oh, nicely done there. Getting in 2 shots. Normally a Zealot can only get off 1 shot, but a little bit of stutter step on a Zealot, getting in 2 shots, and now taking that SCV down to 1 more hit from a Zealot or 2 more shots from a Stalker. Stalker now making its way over. Bunker is going to be a little bit late. And this is going to be a very, very difficult time for Naama to try to really fend off this attack. The bunker takes, I believe, 40 seconds. Yeah, 40 seconds to be completed as the Marines are now making their trek out and wanting to get some damage to perhaps slow down the Zealot. There we go. A little bit of Marine micro. There is that Stalker moving faster, and now the Marines taking a lot more damage than they should. The bunker going to get the SCV taken out as well as the Zealot now comes in. SCV is coming off the mineral line now. 1 Marine does get taken down. ASD loses the Zealot, and now the Stalker battling it up. So far, it looks like it is going to be 2 units versus 2 units. That another SCV does get destroyed. And taking a look at the loss, it is 200 versus 150. Very well played by Naama to make sure that the damage, that a lot more damage was not dealt, and trading in a Zealot for 2 Marines and an SCV, always a very, very good decision. Now ASD opting to expand behind his early pressure, and this is one of those situations where a Terran player is kind of in the dark. He doesn't know what's happening on the far side of the map. No, he did come in with an additional SCV. He did see the Nexus being built, so that was important scouting information for him, as he knows that there isn't going to be a 4-gate timing push with a lot of sentries to prevent any repairing on the front door. We are going into a factory now. We already have double gas coming into play, but we still don't have any add-ons on any of the barracks. No Marauders, no Stim Pack, no Combat Shield. We see that the tech labs are finally being placed down. reactor may be placed down here, and it may be the standard double tech lab with one reactor to try to train up a lot of units. Is Sahara Nama gonna go for a reactor? Not sure yet, as we are gonna perhaps start that stim pack and combat shell research and combat shield research along with the concussive shells. Now, at this point, no one's really gonna try to engage each other. Both players just simply trying to macro up, and Naama has a significant ground to try to catch up on. He is behind by about 8 harvesters. He does have 2 mules, but one of the things that you forget about Terran versus Protoss is that one probe can build multiple buildings at once, essentially, as they start warping in. Meanwhile, Terran players need those SCVs to, kind of baby the buildings. The reactors and the starport now being added on and built. We'll see what's going to be happening here as another supply depot now being added, and ASD with a significant food advantage now at the early portion of the game, 14 food, and I can only imagine that will continue to grow as the destructible rocks at the back of the base here fall and a third base is established. Factory now making its way across the map. It will reveal stalkers at the Xel'Naga Tower and be a little bit of an early warning system. There's also one lone marine. Hate to be that guy there. Like, yeah, I need you to stand here and take damage just in case. What is going on over here? Oh, destroying the destructible rocks, trying to make this ramp a little bit larger, as we are now going to see a stalker start poking away at the factory. Marines and Marauders are making their trek over there. It looks like one observer will spot it. The stalker should be getting away. Not quite sure. Now the stalker is finally going to move away. It does have a nice head start, as the observer is still keeping track of all of the units. ASD's food advantage is now dwindling. It is now down to only 10, as opposed to, I believe it was like 15 to 20 for a while, as the Marines look to take control of the center. This is going to be a very strong timing coming in from ASD. Stim, combat shield, and level 1 weapons upgrade all being completed at about the same time. We'll see that they're completed within 30 seconds of each other, as the factory now simply suiciding its way inside the base, as opposed to using a scanner sweep, instead using a very expensive mineral and gas building in order to do that scouting here. We can see that a backdoor proxy pylon has been set up by ASD. It will be able to warp in units, and as it warps in units, that's going to be a very sad day, as an SCV now makes its way off here. I do not believe it's going to scout out that pylon. No, it will not, as the factory is now going to be on fire. Marines and Marauders do have combat shield. They do have stim. Are they going to try to engage? There is one observer. The observer could have accidentally been destroyed if the Marines and the Marauders actually flew into the combat shield area. Now, we'll see what's happening next, as the Marines and the Marauders going to just dance around the center. So far, there is a factory down at the third base location, but Sahara is still down. Sahara Nama is still down by about 30 food at this point. Marines and Marauders heading over to the Xel'Naga Tower, and both sides with rather large armies. We are still going into heavy Immortals and no Colossi yet for ASD. The Immortals going to be problematic for the Marauders, but the sheer number and the sheer size of units of ASD, the sheer army size of ASD with those sentries, will be able to split apart many of those Marines and not allow them to engage. We do see 3 Marauders trying to do a bit of a chase back over here. They are getting in a little bit of damage inside, but really not too much so far, as the Marauders, and after getting dropped, they are not going to be able to really kite that many units. One Zealot may get taken down. One Zealot does get taken down, as now we see a large group of units just charging inside the front of the base. It looks as though the Nexus may get destroyed here, as the Marauders and the Marines are now trying to back off. A lot of probes are going to get destroyed, and Sahara Nama now dealing the necessary economic damage to the mineral line in order to really take a lead. The Medivacs, however, in a bit of trouble. They may get focused down by the Stalkers. Marauders and Marines going to focus down the Stalker, as the Zealots and the Probes still having a bit of problems. We now see a major engagement over here. Sahara Nama going to lose his third base well before it is even established, as the Marauders and the Marines now all attempt to retreat. One Medivac goes down, and now Sahara Nama may try to unload outside here and perhaps come back in once more. There is one bunker off over here. The command center is on fire in a bad way. It will burn down in just a second. The Immortals now simply just walking inside this base. A very large standing army. The Protoss army about what? 75% larger than his opponents, as the sentries are now blocking the ramp. All of these SCVs on the low ramp are going to be in trouble, as well as the stalkers are not able to see up onto the high ground. There is one ghost in this group. The ghost is constantly getting healed, but all of the SCVs are going to get destroyed. And now let's take a look. 17 SCV kills compared to 27 SCVs. Almost getting stuck on the wrong side there, as the Immortals now trying to make another charge down the ramp. SCVs could try to mineral path here, but now getting completely stuck. There are two ghosts, but the ghosts getting off an EMP shockwave, not hitting the necessary sentries. And I believe ASD is going to take this game, as he is now running on 2 bases compared to 1, and also has a significant harvester advantage, 47 compared to 22. Scanner sweeps now going in. The Marines and the Marauders trying to chase after those units, but the sentries could have easily force field the ramp here at this choke point and prevented any real chase. Marines and the Marauders once again trying to get healed back up. Sahara Naama transferring some SCVs from the main base now down to the low ground. This is still not looking good. Sentries, Stalkers, and Immortals. 5 Immortals in total, with level 1 weapons and armor upgrades, as we are now transitioning into Colossi. Curious as to why ASD is not expanding behind this. He knows he has the economic lead, and he's not really trying to push. He is expanding now. Perfect opportunity to, as he knows that expansion will get set up without any real serious pressure. Let's take a look at the harvester count. 53 to 22. There is a lot of mules in play, so that will definitely help the economy of Sahara Naama. But Sahara Naama still behind in gas. He is only running on, I believe, 2 geysers right now, as the other 2 geysers were destroyed. Medevacs looking to perhaps do another drop at some point. SCV caught on the wrong side of the supply depots. The medevacs perhaps should be repaired as well, as soon as they were repaired, they will be able to go out in those engagements. You never want low hit point medevacs, as the medevacs really add durability and life to the army. Now taking a look at Naama. Naama does know about this proxy pylon down here. He should be trying to clean it up. There he goes, bringing over some units. Marines and Marauders are upgraded 1-2, but is it going to be enough to really deal with this 1-1 army that has a Colossi, especially with no Vikings in play? Sahara Naama still getting in a lot more barracks, very heavy on Marines at this point. Currently sitting on how many Marines is that? Over 24 Marines, 29 Marines still, as the observer now simply flying away. Keep just trying to stay away from all of those Marauders, Marines, and Ghosts. 3 bases for ASD with a 50 food advantage. It looks like Sahara Naama, is he bringing over? Yes, still bringing in more and more Marines. He is not bringing over SCVs. This is not an all-in attempt, but it pretty much should be at this point, as the Ghost with 2-1 upgrades, or 1-2 upgrades, trying to engage here. Scanner sweeps reveal pockets of units, but they are all spread apart. EMP shockwave taking down a lot of those units there. Nice EMP shockwave. Force fields now coming in. Marines, only 1 Marines, but a lot of the Ghosts now getting caught in the front. That is not a good engagement, and with so many Ghosts now destroyed without the EMP shockwaves, the shields are going to be a definite problem, and there is the GG. Sahara Naama knowing instantaneously that losing all of those Ghosts was just too much, and there is game 1 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1 between Sahara Naama and ASD here on Metropolis.